Yo, it's good, it's good. So I wasn't going to originally comment no more on this Joshua Wilder situation. I promise you I wasn't. But today, and I see a comment from Lennox Lewis. Like, he's been kind of neutral the whole situation or whatever, but since the fight is apparently broke down, he's been, a little bit more vocal about his feelings about the fight. Now, I'm not going to go through the history. Everybody's been, what I'm saying, going through the history of these two, who did this, who did that, yada, yada, yada. Some people making up truths. Some people have truths, But the truth of the truth of the matter is, the fight is not happening. And this is a fight that needs to happen. This is the only logical fight in the heavyweight division that makes sense right now, to be honest with you. The only one. So for it to not happen, somebody's gotta shoulder that blame. Somebody has to shoulder that blame. But if you looking at Lennox Lewis tweets, if you go to his Twitter, I'm gonna read some of the things he said. And a lot of y'all ain't gonna like what he said, especially UK fans. You're not gonna like what Lennox Lewis said. So what you're gonna do, disown him for him giving his opinion, But he said, my thoughts on Anthony Joshua and Bronze Bomber situation, that when I was champ, I wanted to face the best to show the world who's the best, period. I've heard them both speak on it, but I've also seen that AJ has changed his tune. This isn't a 2-year down the line thing. Promoters have their own interest in making most money. They can, but fighters also carry in weight who they fight. If both sides wanted this fight, it would be a happy end of story. AJ taking Povetkin fight first isn't a deal breaker for Wilder though. Just don't like the 2-year talk. I'm not in on all the details of Joshua Wilder negotiations, but when I wanted to fight Tyson before retiring, the only thing keeping that fight away was the networks. I told my team at HO to make it happen in the start. I don't want to hear about anything else. The way I see it, AJ is the man. He gets to choose time and place for first fight. I'd make Wilder come to me also. But from what I see from Wilder, he's willing to. And this is the same attitude I would have. When the heavyweight division finally has a pulse, we need action, not talk. So lightly, in so many words, he's trying to play the fence a little bit. And that's okay. I mean, he's an elder heavyweight. He's an elder to both of these guys. Like, I've seen videos with him and Wilder. I've seen videos with him and AJ. But in that first paragraph, in that first tweet he sent out, AJ changed his tone. That's not something I'm just highlighting. That's something I pretty much sure everybody highlighted when he said AJ changed his tone. Now, with this situation, like I said, everybody has their version of the truth. Everybody, has their versions of what happened here, what happened there, what happened. When you have fighters, especially a fighter like Lennox Lewis, one of the greatest heavyweights of my generation. I was born in '81. He's right up there with Holmes, in my opinion, his top 2 heavyweights in my lifetime. I don't rate Tyson that high. Holyfield's probably like, 3, 4, fluctuates. But when you have Lennox Lewis coming out, speaking on this situation, and him pointing the finger like, hey, you changed during these negotiations or whatever. That's pretty telling, man. That's pretty telling. Because even though we said what we said about Lennox Lewis then, oh, he has a suspect chin, this, that, and the third, yada, yada, yada. Even when he lost to Rottman in South Africa, I remember that. That was back in, 2001, as far as I remember, 2001, 2002 time frame or whatever. He came back and beat Rottman. But one thing Lennox Lewis wasn't afraid to do, he wasn't afraid to fight nobody, man. He wasn't afraid to fight nobody. The Bo fight never happened. We all know why that didn't happen. And it's kind of like a similar situation. I think, the reason he's straddling the fence like this, because he probably thinks about, I'm sure he still thinks about the Bolt fight. You know, that's a fight, yeah, it happened in the Olympics, but as professionals, he never got that fight. Lennox Lewis never got the Bolt fight. You know, and I think to this day, if there's one fight that lingers in his mind, it would have probably been that one. Other than that, you know, he fought everybody. He fought everybody he was supposed to fight in his generation. He fought everyone. And when he retired, he beat the better Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? He didn't beat Vlad. He beat the better Klitschko, if you ask me. Vitaly was always the better Klitschko in my mind. He beat the better Klitschko when he retired. So you can take what he said with a grain of salt, or you can understand where he's coming from. You know, this is not something that needs to wait 2-3 years. This is not something that needs to build up. You can tell by the people's reactions that the way things broke down and the failure to get the fight, you know what I'm saying? You can tell by the internet reactions as far as like boxing fans in the LDBC, or, you know what I'm saying, thus throughout social media, YouTube, you know, it's people that don't even log on YouTube for boxing, you know, commentary or fan videos or whatever, but they on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Trust me, I've been going back and forth with them for the past 2-3 days now. You know, this would have, there's no question this is $100 million fight, first of all. Anybody that don't think or never thought this was $100 million fight is out of the fucking mind. Right? I'm like him. I'm like him when I say I don't give a fuck if the fight happens in Vegas, Brooklyn, fucking Wembley. I don't know too many places in the UK like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up on UK stadiums. I really ain't. But I don't give a fuck where it happens. I don't give a fuck if it happens in Pluto, in Germany, fucking Denmark. I don't give a fuck as long as the fight would have happened. But that being said, the fight is not happening. This is gonna be my last time talking about it until it happens, because I think eventually it will happen. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. The fight will happen. Now, that being said, I don't think the fight should not happen within the next year. I think after 2019, we should be looking at the rematch already. You know, people are talking about, they're murmuring April 2019. That's fine. That's cool or whatever. I don't see the necessity for a Povetkin fight for AJ. I really don't. And I don't see a necessity for a Brazil fight for Wilder. But I wouldn't fight. And here's another thing. When Tyson Fury put out the video the other day talking about, you know, he's a real champion, which I always respected Tyson Fury. Even though he went through his shit, he was battling his demons and everything else. I respected Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, I'm sure if you've looked at a couple of my videos, you hear me talking about Tyson Fury in high regards. That's why I say it ain't even with me, it ain't even really a UK thing. It's people that don't want to see the best fights. AJ and Wilder right now is the best fight you can make in the heavyweight division, because they have all the titles right now, except for that lineal title that Tyson Fury has. But right now, Tyson Fury is not in shape to fight either AJ or Deontay Wilder. He's not in any condition, if you ask me, to fight AJ or Deontay Wilder. He's not there. But if he's gonna dangle that carrot out there, then I say jump, Judy. I hate to say it, but Deontay Wilder, if you get a chance to fight Tyson Fury and get that scalp on your wall, get it out the way. If he's serious about it, do it. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You know, I hate to say it like that or whatever, but if Tyson Fury think he about that life, he ready to go, you know what I'm saying? Go into them waters or whatever, just one fight, you know, back or whatever. Do it. Get that lineal title. Because that's what Tyson Fury, whether we like it or not, Tyson Fury is the lineal heavyweight champion. He's still the lineal heavyweight champion. He doesn't need a belt for that. He still has that lineage. He's the man that beat the man. You heard me? He's the man that beat the man. And in order for you to get that distinct title, you have to beat Tyson Fury. So it doesn't matter how many belts AJ got across there, overseas or whatever. If you beat Tyson Fury, you are the man that beat the man. that lineage is now with you. So in order for Joshua to be the man per se, he would then have to beat you, because you beat the man that beat the man. I know that may be hard for some of y'all to follow, but for boxing heads, old school boxing heads, whatever, I know y'all understand what I'm saying. In order for one of these guys to be the man, they have to beat the man. In immortal words of Ric Flair. But I say do it. I'd much rather see him against Fury than I would Brazil. I would much after you beat Fury, or after you fight Fury, or let's say you were to fight Fury, then if the WBC makes you fight a Brazil, go ahead, fight a Brazil. Don't worry about AJ. Don't worry about nothing AJ does. Don't worry about anything Anthony Joshua, because it's going to come a time that Anthony Joshua is going to need Deontay Wilder, and he's going to come back. Hey, Deontay, let's go ahead and make this fight. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything. You're not at their bidding, man. You can make the Tyson Fury fight in Brooklyn, or you can make the Tyson Fury fight in Vegas or whatever. Make it for September, October, somewhere around that time frame. People are going to travel from the UK to see that fight. You got diehard Tyson Fury fans over there. You know what I'm saying? You got diehard Tyson Fury fans here. Then you have people that just respect Tyson. Like I respect Tyson Fury. I would actually travel to go see that fight, because 9 of the times it would be, you know, here in the States. But if it is in the UK, hell, if I can make that trip, I'll go make that trip. Because like I said, I like both of the fighters. I like Fury and I like Wilder. And that's just being real. That's just being 100. You know? Of course, you know, I think Wilder will win that fight right now. I think the majority of people think that Wilder will win that fight right now. But until they strap him up, we ain't gonna know. That's just truth being told. We're not gonna know until they strap him up. But I'm putting my money on Wilder. But Wilder needs to stop worrying about fucking AJ. He needs to stop worrying about what the fuck AJ doing. He needs to stop worrying about all that. He needs to be setting up his next fight. He's been out the ring a little too long now, if you ask me. It's been what, 6 months he's been out the ring? Something like that, around 6 months. You need to get your ass back in the ring, bro. And if Tyson Fury is the biggest name that's willing to fight you, fight Tyson Fury. That's my whole thought on that. But I just wanted to let y'all know what Lennox Lewis thought about the situation. You know what I'm saying? Lennox Lewis is just like me. He wants to see the fight. But don't get it twisted. Lennox Lewis, he basically said, AJ, man, you kind of, you know, he basically called AJ a duck without saying the word duck. You know, he gave AJ the recognition like, hey, you're the A side in this situation. You call the shots. Basically telling him like, hey, this fight is not happening because you don't want it to happen. Read in between the lines of what them tweets said, man. That's basically what he said. You call shots, you're the A side. This fight is not happening because you don't want it to happen. If you get on Hearn, if you get on whoever to make this fight happen, like I did when I was with HBO and Tyson was with Showtime, and I was like, hey, I want this fight to happen. Guess what? The fight happened. That's what I picked up from these tweets. Like I said, they open for your interpretation, but I think it's clear as day what he thinks and how he thinks the fight broke down. That's just me. I'll holler at y'all, man. LDBC.